Uh, His Lordship, Justice Oka, has consented to take a couple of questions. If children have any questions, mics are ready. Mics will come around. You can have questions. Thank you. Yeah. We'll have 4 questions for paucity of time. However, the rest will be answered in the coming for technical sessions that are coming forth. Thank you. Yeah.
Respected pranams to all the judges. Yeah, one question is whether the personal life of a judge is compromised, and whether he can give time to his family. And the next question is whether sometimes while deciding the case, do you have this conflict whether this is right or that is right, whether I have done any injustice, that indecisiveness. Thank you.
You want to add to question? Interesting question. You asked about how much time you can give to the family, if I understood it correctly. My esteemed colleague Dinesh Kumar answered immediately 0. But 2 things I want to tell you. One is, you ask this question to any successful lawyer in the High Court, how much time he is giving to his family. Perhaps you will get the same answer which Justice Dinesh Kumar gave just now. So even if you become a very successful lawyer, you'll have same difficulty. Correct. And I'm glad that you have not asked this question to my brother Justice Veerappa. He whispered in my ears, can soldiers say this, that I am not giving sufficient time to my family? But I must tell you one more thing. It's all about time management. It's all about time management. No doubt, if you become a judge, your first priority is to the cause of justice. But I have been a judge for 19 years. At least my family members have not made such grievance openly that I have not given them time. Openly, maybe under. But with the time management, you please take it from me that you can devote time to your family members. Of course, to some extent, when you occupy a judicial office, you do justice to litigants before you, but you tend to do injustice to your family members. I agree to some extent. But if you make some efforts, if you use time management techniques, that won't be impossible. Secondly, about decision making. Well, that's the beauty of the job of the judge. That every second, every minute you are called upon to say what is correct and what is illegal and what is not legal. You know, ultimately it's a practice, it's a discipline of mind that ultimately teaches you how to arrive at the correct conclusion. In fact, that is the beauty of the job of a judge, that every day you are called upon to take a very crucial decision. So that is something which is very positive as far as career in judiciary is concerned.
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ. ನೀವು ದೇಶಭಕ್ತಿ ದೇಶ ಸೇವೆ ಎರಡು ಮನಸ್ಸಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ದೇಶ ಭಕ್ತಿ ದೇಶ ಸೇವೆ ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮನೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ದೇಶ ಸೇವೆಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಈ ಅಪ್ಪ ಈ ಹೆಣ್ಮಗಳು ಅಲ್ಲ ಗಂಡ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯರಿ ಸೇರಿದ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಮಂದಟ್ಟಾದರೆ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ವಿತ್ ಯು, ನೀಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಾದರ್ ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ, ದೇ ವಿಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಯು. ನೀವು ಬರೋದಿಲ್ಲಿ ದೇಶ ಸೇವೆ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ. ಐ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ದಿ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯರಿ ಆಸ್ ಎ ಜುಡಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ಸ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ ಟು ಸೋಲ್ಜರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಬಾರ್ಡರ್. Every moment they are ready to die with gun. Why don't you die with service? Nothing will happen.
One more thing, your additional advocate general pointed out. Whether one likes it or not, we have lot many holidays and vacations. In fact, there I am failure. I have said it publicly in Bombay High Court, in Karnataka High Court. I tried my level best to reduce vacations. But I must confess I was a failure. And now there is no danger to these vacations because I'll be walking out after 2 years and 9 months.
At a personal note, I wanted to tell you that the answer to the young lady, out of humility, the Honorable Justice Oak has not mentioned about it. You must know how judges work. He was our Chief Justice, and he was one of the best Chief Justices, I will tell you. He was down with hepatitis. He had lost 17 kilos of weight. Within 1 week, despite against medical advice, he used to be in the chair at 9 o'clock in the morning and would leave his court at 9 o'clock in the night. This is how that he has worked. Perhaps there were no administrative files which remained for consideration the day he left our court.
ನಾನು ಒಂದು ಮರ್ತು ಬಿಟ್ಟೆ. ನಾನು ಸ್ಪೀಚಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಫಾಲೋ ದಿ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಮೈ ಲಾರ್ಡ್ ಎಮ್ಮನ್ ವೆಂಕಟಾಚಲಯ ಅಂತ. COVID-19 entire world was suffering. Only High Court, Karnataka High Court in the country, we stood first in the disposal because of my Lord's leadership. When my Lord asked, brothers are not ready to sit, what can we do? I said, sir, we'll start 15 members. Don't worry, we start morning the division bench, evening single judges. We start with people. You just ask in full court who are not ready to come. No one say no. Everybody says yes. Entire country under my Lord's leadership we stood in the first on video conference disposals.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Kishore Kulkarni. I am from SJRC College of Law. So my question is, today we are living in an era of social media. The current judges are not maybe used to social media, but the youths are now very much addicted to social media. When we become the judicial officers, will we be allowed to use social media or with the reasonable restrictions?
Very good question. Firstly, I must tell you one thing. There are two parts of question. One you have not elaborated, but I'll elaborate on that. I must tell you, if you want to discharge your duties as a judicial officer, as per the oath which you will be taking, you will find hardly any time to interact on social media. That's number one. Number two, obviously, when you are in court hours, you can't go on social media. You are supposed to devote every second of your time to judicial work. Number three, if you remember, I said some time back that when you become a judge, you get a social status, you get good remuneration, good standing in the society, and some duties come. One of the duties is that you have to be very discreet. If on social media, on Twitter and Facebook, you keep on expressing your opinion, that is not consistent with the ideal conduct of a judicial officer. So you must remember that. Reading something which appears on social media, if you have spare time, you can do that. But participation, yes. You can't be on Twitter offering comments on the judgments of the constitutional courts or what politician is saying. You can't do that. This is the constraint. The other thing which must be in mind of others will I answer because we have time shortage, that social media criticizes the judges and that puts pressure. This is a normal question. I have heard this question from a dozen students in different law colleges. Please remember one thing, the life of what appears on social media is very, very short. Today there is something sensational, you say something, somebody may say something about judiciary, after a few days that will be forgotten. Simple example I'll give you. If you are on WhatsApp group, do you remember what message you received on a particular WhatsApp group 7 days back? You forget. So don't be worried about the second aspect of it. But discipline is that you should avoid using social media. You can use social media. I'll give you an example. If you are a judicial officer, form a group with the judges, share something new in the field of law, some new concept, some new judgments of our courts or courts in foreign countries. It can, perhaps now younger generation is forgetting that social media can be used very constructively. That's it. One more thing. If that criticism is made, see, I personally believe in this. When we are judges, we should welcome criticism of the system, because only if somebody criticizes the system, we know where we are going wrong. But I always tell young law students and young law graduates, when they say something about judiciary, have you made statistical research before you made this statement? That how many who are first generation lawyers have become judges of the High Court? How many who are first generation lawyers who have become judges of the Supreme Court? What you say, there may be illustrations that sons and daughters of the judges have become judges. I can't deny that. That's a matter of record. But young man, if you want to succeed in the field of law, you are not somebody who is in who is in this electronic media. Off the cuff you say so many things, off the cuff you ask so many questions. You please study. Now everything is available on net, on public domain. Find out how many are the cases where first generation lawyer has become a judge, has occupied the top office. What do you know about the present Chief Justice of India? Is he a daughter or son of a judge of the High Court? So therefore, please study. And I'm not saying no. You are right to criticize. Something is going wrong in judiciary, you are right to criticize. But that criticism has to be based on very careful study and analysis. One more question. We'll take only one more question, because you will get better perspective from my younger colleagues in Karnataka High Court.
Sir, namaste. My name is Nilesh Jadhav. My question is regarding independence of judiciary, sir. The thing is India is the only country where judges are appointed by judges, as far as my knowledge is concerned. So, is a completely unaccountable judiciary. It is antithetical to the concept of democracy.
Of course, you are entitled to offer this criticism. I want to ask you two questions. Please answer those questions. Have you read two constitution bench judgments of Supreme Court of India which brought about collegium system?
Sir, I have gone through regarding this NJAC system, National Judicial Appointment Commission.
No, that comes later. That was challenge was to that act. But SP Gupta, and there are two judgments. One is of 9 judges bench.
First judge's case, second
So
judge's case.
have you studied those judgments and the reasons given by Supreme Court for evolving collegium system? So tell me, what is the justification given by Supreme Court for creating collegium? Are you able to analyze that?
Yes, sir. First judge's case, it was regarding concurrence with the
Correct.
concurrence and consultancy with the president regarding that. And then second judge's case, the concurrence of the consultancy of the president is not required. So straight away, judges can appoint
Correct.
judges. And third judge's case, finally, it was regarding the same. At last, the thing is, judges appoint judges. This
Yes.
is the
See,
criteria going
this
on
criticism is always there of the collegium system. I can't run away. I'm part of this institute. I can't run away from that. But as a young law student, I'll implore to all of you, if collegium system is bad, we must get rid of that system. But
Yes.
we must get rid of that system by replacing it by more transparent and a better system.
now. Yes, sir.
So you are right in criticizing collegium system, but you must also think of a viable alternative which will not compromise on independence of judiciary. I'll give you two examples.
Yes, sir.
please study, law student, you must study the history. Are you aware that in 70s, on 2 occasions, the senior most judges of the Supreme Court were bypassed, and somebody who was junior to them was appointed as
Yes, sir. ADM Jabalpur case.
or Chief Justice. Chief Justice.
Yes.
So I have studied that. When collegium was not in existence, the claim of 4 or 5 senior Supreme Court judges who were entitled to become Chief Justice, that was bypassed. That was the result of a system where there was no collegium. I'll tell you something more important. I am very candid about it. I'll start with Karnataka. I am party to recommendation of one of the most talented lawyer from Karnataka as judge of the High Court. I am not offering any more comment by saying that after his name was recommended by the collegium, he withdrew his consent. Why is the question you should be asking yourself and members of the legal fraternity. I have my own constraints in answering that. So therefore, it's oversimplification when you say that, collegium is such a system which provides that judges appointing judges. If you see how the system works, and if you find out the reasons why collegium came into existence, you will get the answers. Again, you are entitled to say that collegium should be replaced by a better and more transparent system, but that system has to be better in the context of independence of judiciary. Last question now.
I thank all the dignitaries on the dais for graciously answering the questions.